Hey there, boils and ghouls. It's your friend Tara and Tats. I'm back with another video, and I'm really excited today. Today, oh man, we got a good one, folks. Oh man, it's a great day for 4K collectors. It's a great day for Stanley Kubrick fans. Today, we get the 50th anniversary 4K release of Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. Oh man, this is something I've been waiting for. I'm going to be honest with you. At the beginning of the year, they started, a lot of videos like Films at Home and stuff. They were doing videos talking about how they were looking forward to all these movies that were coming out. And then when they mentioned two, this was before I knew The Thing was coming out, but they mentioned two that were coming up for release. And I was like, oh man, these are two I really, really want to get. If I'm going to dip onto the 4Ks, I definitely want to get these. One was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The other one was A Clockwork Orange. Now, I've pretty much collected just about every Stanley Kubrick movie that's been put out on 4K so far. Stanley Kubrick is just one of those directors. Like, I just feel like, if there was a director I wanted to get all of his movies on 4K, Stanley Kubrick was the man. I have The Shining. I have Full Metal Jacket. I have 2001, Space Odyssey, Spartacus, Doctor Strangelove. I got that one, and now I got A Clockwork Orange. Was this purchase worth it? Oh, you better believe it. I mean, when you look at this film and you look at Kubrick's use of color and style and everything, 4K really does bring it out. The detail on this is incredible. And if you are a Kubrick fan and you want to get this movie, if you're a fan of this movie, then yeah, if you're getting into 4K, I very much would suggest that you get this. This looks amazing in 4K. It looks so good. I would probably say this would be my second. Yeah, probably. For me, like the number one movie that really blows me away on 4K as far as Kubrick films are concerned, number one would probably have to be 2001, then this one, and then The Shining, then Full Metal Jacket, then probably Doctor Strangelove and Spartacus. I don't know why. I was underwhelmed by Spartacus. Spartacus is a great looking film, but I just remember I don't know, it didn't really blow me away. It doesn't look bad on 4K, but it just didn't really knock me off my shoes. But, oh yeah, this one looks so good in 4K. It really does. And, you do, on the Blu-ray, you get some bonus features and stuff. Let's see here. On the 4K, you get commentary with Malcolm McDowell and historian Nick Redman. Then on the Blu-ray, okay, real quick, well, let me name off the special features, and then I'll tell you. Okay, we have Malcolm McDowell looks back. We have turning like Clockwork Orange, or Channel 4 Turning Like Clockwork, Channel 4 documentary, sorry. Still Ticking, The Return of Clockwork Orange, featurette, Grizzly, Great Bulchy Yarblacos, Making a Clockwork Orange, theatrical trailer. Let's see, I don't know. Well, it says Malcolm McDowell looks back. I don't know if it has the Old Licky Malcolm documentary that was on the original Blu-ray or whatever. I don't know. I have to check and see. But what I will say about this, ladies and gentlemen, is if you're one of those kind of people who you look at, you're the kind that I don't do the bonus features. I never look at the bonus features. I'm all about the movie. As long as I got the movie, I don't care about the bonus features and stuff. If you're that kind of person, I would actually strongly recommend that on this, that you really do check out the bonus features, because this is a situation of everything about this movie, everything from the conception of the book to the making of the film to the release of the film, everything about it is it's very dark, but very fascinating at the same time. And I'm not going to give anything away. I want you to check out the bonus features, but please do. Even if you're the kind of person, I don't do bonus features and stuff, because this here, the bonus features, oh my goodness. Wow. And this movie over the years has been very hard to categorize. Usually when you look at it listed, a lot of times it's listed as a drama. A lot of times it's listed as a black comedy. And there is a lot of humor in this movie. Malcolm McDowell, he's very, very funny in this movie. But also, too, the film has also been listed as a horror film. That's the thing about this movie. It's really hard to categorize. And the reason why is because it's got a little bit of everything in it. It's got some dramatic moments. It's got a lot of funny moments. It's got some genuinely frightening moments, some disturbing moments. And that's the thing. Like, have you seen a scary movie where the plot is usually about, oh, here's this movie that's so controversial and so disturbing and all this other kind of stuff that, and everything behind the making of the movie was so dark and mysterious and everything else. And that's the thing about Clockwork Orange. It's pretty much that kind of movie. When you find out the history of the movie and how Anthony Burgess, the author, came up with the idea for the book and how the book was translated to screen and so on and everything, it literally is almost that kind of movie. Where it's like, oh wow, here's this movie, and this movie, Clockwork Orange, is on the list of like the most disturbing film ever made. So you got that going. But oh yeah, and look at Malcolm McDowell. Look how sinister he looks on the back there. You got the screaming woman's face and everything. But oh yeah, but oh wow, this movie is so interesting. And everything behind the making of it and everything. It really feels like, like those movies that they talk about in some scary movies, say like The Ring or something like that, a movie where they talk about, oh, here's this movie, it's so disturbing and everything behind it is so dark and but fascinating and all that kind of. Clockwork Orange is that kind of movie. Just a real quick summary, for those who don't know what the story is. The story, you have Malcolm McDowell playing Alex DeLarge, and he's like a hoodlum, I guess is the best word I can use. He has these three guys in his gang, but he calls them droogs. That's one thing you're going to know. In the movie, it's a British film, but they use a different type of language that Anthony Burgess, the author, created called NASDAQ. And they have different, you can get, you'll get the idea from, even though they say like, okay, like he says, I have a pain in the Gulliver, which basically means I have a headache. But, as you watch the movie, it's not too hard that you can't follow it, let's see. Also, too, like, what's another one? Cup of the old chai means, would you like a cup of tea, that kind of thing. But anyway, so he has his gang members, but he calls them droogs, and they go out and they commit crimes, horrible crimes. They steal. The opening scene is Alex and his friends, which kind of reminiscent of this scene here. They find like a homeless man who's drunk and he's singing, and they decide to attack him and just beat him and hurt him and everything else. They're going out, they're committing all these horrible crimes. Well, at one point, his partners, they're getting tired of Alex's leadership, and so they decide they're going to double cross him, and then he gets caught by the police, and then he gets sent to jail. And as he's in jail, he hears about this technique that the government is doing with prisoners, that they want to experiment on these people and try to see if they can be redeemed and put back into society. It gets him out of jail fast. Alex, he's like, he doesn't care. He just doesn't want to be in jail anymore. So first chance he gets, he signs up for this experiment procedure and everything. And then he gets the procedure, and, they say he's fine. And it turns out the procedure actually makes him physically sick to any type of violence. And it makes him just, bleh, at the very thought of even hurting a fly. And then they put him out back into society. But here's the thing, society, here is a guy with his gang members, his droogs. Here's a guy who caused a lot of harm and a lot of damage to other people. And once he's out in society, they just, the people that he's wronged, they did not forget, and they're more than willing to get their pound of flesh on Alex. So, but anyway, that's as far as I'm going to go into the movie. But anyway, let's see. Oh, for you digital film collectors, in case if you're wondering, if you do, I know sometimes when you get a digital code, sometimes you think, well, when you get the digital code for 4K, it should give you the 4K version. Not always the case, but in this case here, I did redeem the code, and you do get the 4K version on your Vudu or Movies Anywhere, whatever you have. You do get the 4K version, but oh man, just Kubrick's style of film, the way he shot this film, the color scheme and everything else, the 4K really brings it out. One thing that really stood out to me, I noticed, was the Droogs, Alex and his Droogs, they wear these white uniforms, and oh man, I cannot believe the amount of detail. You know, you see how like the 4K really brings out how dirty and scuffed up they are and everything else. You know, it really brings out the color scheme, and oh man. To be truthfully, honestly, this is a movie I would have been stunned. I would have literally been stunned if this movie looked horrible in 4K, but that's not the case. This movie looks brilliant. It's probably the best this movie has ever looked. And the sound, there are a couple of times I kind of noticed like Alex's narration kind of dipping down. I did notice that. That's kind of one thing. But I think if you have a good sound system at home and everything, you'll be fine. But overall, yeah, I cannot recommend Clockwork Orange on 4K enough. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I can't recommend it. It's totally worth the money for it. So if you get the chance, definitely pick this up. This movie, and it's an amazing. It's not really watching a movie. It's an experience. You know, I know that sounds pretentious, but you know, it really is, because like I said, this movie is so hard to categorize. You don't know exactly what it is. Is it a comedy? Is it dramatic? Is it a horror film? But the thing is, it's like it's so, you know, it's so varied, and you get so much out of it, and it really does. It stops becoming watching a movie as it becomes an experience. And I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen this movie, definitely see this movie if you get the chance, really. And if you are a Kubrick fan and you love 4K, definitely get this. You're going to want this one. I promise you that. And I'm so glad that I finally picked this up. I'm glad to finally have it, put it in with my Kubrick collection. I knew this was going to be a good one, and I was not disappointed. So anyway, that's going to do it. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick's Clockwork Orange, definitely pick it up. Especially, oh man, I can't wait. You know, I can't wait for you guys to see how, you know, as colorful as this movie is and everything else, and the way Kubrick framed the shots and everything, I can't wait for you guys to see how good this is going to look. It's really going to blow your mind. So anyway, so that's it. So if anybody took the time to watch this video, I thank you for doing it, and I appreciate you for doing it. I honestly hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave it a like, and if you haven't already, go and subscribe to the channel. And that's it, boils and ghouls. Take care, and go out and get Clockwork Orange on 4K. You won't regret it. So see you next time.